I am Black Dragon, and I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Black Dragon Biker TV. And as always, we'd like to thank you all for tuning in from wherever it is in the world that you happen to be. We're here in our lovely park where we hang around, and I have my dog outside the car on the leash. So I drive, he walks, which is really kind of cool. People say, wow, I didn't know you could walk your dog like that. Absolutely, you can. Absolutely, you can. Anyway, I see you guys all out there. Good to see you. Having fun out here in Atlanta. It's a beautiful day today, and all things are cool. If you are a first time viewer to the channel, we ask that we talk about motorcycle club stuff and biker life, bike lifestyle. And if this kind of content appeals to you, consider joining the channel by subscribing and forwarding. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're almost at 3,000. So please continue to subscribe over at Black Dragon Biker TV on YouTube, and we're also on Facebook. So today's subject is when is the right time to ask to be a hangaround? That comes from an email I got earlier this morning, and I called the guy to talk to him about it, and he was hanging out with a one percenter nation, and he asked me when is the right time for me to ask them, hey, can I be a hangaround? And I thought that was interesting because I think in all the 700 and some videos I've ever done, I really haven't covered that at all. So when is it right for you to say, hey, I'd like to be part of this organization? And different clubs have different ways that they recruit. Some clubs, uh, yeah, Wild on Two. Luckily, you didn't call me, but you can call me right after this is over. And listen, Wild on Two, one percenter. Wild on Two is his YouTube. He's Wild One Percenter. Wild on Twos is his YouTube channel, and he's got a new video out this morning. So you guys definitely want to go over there and check him out. Um, but different motorcycle clubs handle this different, especially when you're on the one percenter side. And some of those clubs believe in, we don't recruit. We don't ask you unless you ask us. Uh, but the way I feel about it, this is Black Dragon. This is the way I feel. If you want me to come to the dance, you're going to ask me on a date. And so I will never ask a motorcycle club, can I be a hangaround? Um, there's a difference in when you ask them and they ask you. There's a little bit difference in the way you're treated. Maybe not that big of a difference, but a difference enough. I want to be asked to the ball. So, and believe me, I have been approached to join every kind of club, one percenter, 99 percenter, riding club, every kind of club and every kind of association has approached me and asked me to join. So, preacher, teacher, it's your student. So, Charleston, West Virginia, Black Dragon, the Midnight Ghost rider, checking on you, checking you out. Good to see you. LaRock, Drifter, good to see you, bro. Thanks for being with the channel so long. So, um, what this guy didn't understand was they were already grooming him to be a prospect. The first time the president or the VP or one of the members says, hey, man, you know, we get together on Thursday nights First time somebody says something like that to you, that's opening the door for you to come and hang out. Hey man, we got a open house next Thursday. They wouldn't even tell you that if you weren't uh, uh, asked, if they didn't find you credible. Somebody says some 1% clubs are not legally allowed to recruit, is what I'm told, so they won't ask you to the dance. Let me tell you something. Everybody that's interested in your ass will ask you to the dance. Uh, or you'll just look around and they start calling you hang around. And when that happens, you're already a hang around. So uh, the big thing to do is make yourself available. Everything's in the body language. Some things don't, that doesn't need to be spoken, doesn't need to be said, doesn't need to be explained. Some things we know. Um, if it were me and I had it, I never asked my club to hang around. They really made it apparent from day one that they were interested in me. But again, I prospected for many, many years, a lot longer than many of you guys could ever do it, because I was always in trouble with the club. So my club was ready to get rid of me about 100,000 times. It took me close to 5 years to patch over. I was in trouble. I was in the club, out of the club. I was always getting kicked out for doing something stupid. I was a very hard head, which many of you might not be. But uh, but I was still asked to the dance. So it something Wild on Two says many times it's not literally asked, but like you said, they put out open invites, and you need to read between the lines. Um, and then when I talked to the young man, he said, well, he'd been hanging around them for about a week, and I said, oh no 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 no, bro, uh, with my club, it was like that. It was love at first sight. I knew I would be a member the first second I walked in the door. I had never seen a motorcycle club before. I had never been in a motorcycle club before. And I had never had such strong black brothers. Like, these guys were fearless. They were afraid of nothing. And I came from a place where cops would beat your ass, stuff like that. And these guys, they weren't afraid of cops. They weren't afraid of nothing. They were the baddest cats on the block. Uh, when cops came over to our clubhouse, they came over respectfully. They didn't even come in the door. They sat out in the car and asked the prospect if you could please go get the sergeant at arms or something like that. Like, it was just complete respect, man. So I never seen nobody carry themselves like that. I wanted a piece of that. So you can fall in love at first sight, but don't act hungry. You're not hungry. Wait, take your time. Uh, Come on, dog. Come on, come on, come on. Get away from there. Uh, you take your time. You want to uh, get to know them and let them get to know you. So you don't want to be hungry. Show up the first day. Man, can I be a hang around? Everybody looks at you with a jaundiced eye. Like, why is this guy so hungry? So you don't want to be hungry. You want to be calm, cool, and collected. You want to take chance to get to know people. And you don't want to ask a bunch of dumbass questions. What's that patch for? No, don't do that. When you ask questions, let your questions be towards the brotherhood. Um, Let your questions be stuff like, what's it like to be a brother here? Uh, what made you uh, what made you come to this club? Um, how do you feel when you're riding in the pack? Let the questions be germane. You got one mouth, two eyes, two ears. Uh, Look and listen more than you speak. My grandma used to tell me all the time, if God meant for you to speak as much as he meant for you to listen, you'd have two mouths instead of one. You'd have two eyes. And you'd have, you'd only have one eye and one nostril and one ear and two mouths. So obviously, you got two ears, two eyes, and two noses in one mouth, because what goes in that mouth and what comes out of that mouth should be sacred. That what you put in your body and what you take out of your body should be sacred. That should be um, um, well thought out. You know what I'm saying? So be quiet, look, listen, and learn. Um, Show up to the things they invite you to. Um, After a while, they'll understand. They'll understand your body language. They may give you some tasks to do, um, and then you're already a hang around. And so take your time. What's up, Lewis Williams? Take your time and get to know the folks around you. Ride with them. You know, they're motorcyclists. Ride with them. They respect the person that can handle his iron. Find out how to ride in the pack. Find out how they ride. When they call you up and ask you, hey, man, we're going to be over at the poker run. Show your ass up. Every time they ask you to do something, be there, be counted. Show up and be counted. Howdy, folks. Yeah, he can climb this hill. I can't. So when when you are thinking about when do I ask to become a prospect, my answer is wait. Wait another month. Show yourself. Study. Get to know folks. Build relationships. Um, it's always nice to be Black Dragon for a while, or Peter, or Tom, or Chris, before you're a prospect, or Mansoor, or Edia, or Muhammad, whatever your name is. It's always nice to be um, courted a little bit. Show people that they can depend on you. Show people that you're there physically, body language. Actions are louder than words. When they see the kind of person you are, then they'll ask you. Ironhead says, thank you for being on, Ironhead. Ironhead says, ask no questions. Let the questions be asked from you. Even then, keep your answer short. I like that. And you know, you learn that when you go to court. You you give the exact answer to the question they ask. And no more. You don't volunteer anything. And you ask the question, you answer the question, you keep it short, you keep it concise. Stay true. Don't BS anybody. You know, my biggest thing when I came to the Black Sabbath, those guys were tough. Those were tough guys. A lot of them, they came from the hood, man. The Black Sabbath Motorcycle Club is in the hood. The mother chapter is right in the hood. And I grew up in an interesting kind of neighborhood where one side was the hood and one side was affluent, and it was divided by a street, 16th Street, Northwest 16th Street in Oklahoma City, and so whereas there was some hood there, and I belonged to a little gang, but it wasn't Crips and Bloods. My gang was called the Little Dragons. We didn't know what a Crip or Blood was. So uh, so when I went to California, it was a complete. I wasn't from the hood, not the kind of hoods they were from. Like they had real stuff going on in our hood. You might lift a car stereo where I came from. In their hood, it was real. So I never acted like that was me or that was my lifestyle, or there was a big to do with the way I talked, my accent. Uh, my mother was an English professor. Of course, I'm going to talk the way I talk. My grandmother was a English professor and a grade school and a high school teacher, and she had a nursing degree. My great great grandmother was an aeronautical engineer. When few black women or Indians, Native Americans were had anything like that, she was an aeronautical engineer. So this is the way I talk. This is the way I express myself. There was a lot of problems with that in my club. Like, you talk like a white guy. I just talk like me. This is how I talk. But that was an issue. That was absolutely an issue. And can this guy be part of us? Is this guy some kind of a snitch or something? Or is this, where the heck does this guy come from? What's this with the cowboy hat? We're, we're out in California. What is this? What kind of guy is this? Is this a real cowboy? Does he ride real horses? This kind of stuff. But I always was able to be exactly me. Like I wasn't fixing to now wear a baseball cap. I didn't start wearing baseball cap. And those of you who've been following me for a while, I didn't start wearing baseball caps until earlier this year. It'd be the first time you see me in a baseball cap. If you've been watching this show for 4 years, you've never seen me with one on. So um, I started wearing the baseball caps because I like the military baseball caps, and I don't even wear them right. When I wear them, like it's not cool. It's not turned around backwards. Nothing like that.
That's the way to walk your dog.
Yes, sir. This is how we walk them.
I was just staring back. That's why I was waiting.
Oh, I thought I was holding you up. I'm sorry.
I was just watching.
Everybody thinks it's crazy to walk your dog like this, but I mean, he wants to walk. I don't. So put him on a chain and walk him outside the car. He's all right over there. Now, if I was in this area, and there weren't other dogs here, I wouldn't have him on a chain at all. And he walks right next to the car. And you guys know this dog's come a long way if you've been watching me since the first day I found him. So everything goes like that. But I was always able to be myself. I was always able to be John. I was always able to be the Black Dragon. And um, that's what I would tell you to bring to the motorcycle set. Bring you how you are. Don't change you for anybody. For me, I never drink. I'm not a drinker. I'm not a guy who's ever smoked marijuana, not even one time in my life. That's not something I did. I don't smoke marijuana, blunts, or anything. I don't take any kind of drugs or pills or anything like that. I don't even really like the worst drug I've ever been on. I've been shot 4 times. The worst drug I've ever been on is morphine. I hate morphine. I would rather have the pain than morphine. Morphine makes me very like I want to vomit, and I would rather have the pain from the gunshot than the morphine. If you ask me, I don't like Percocet. I don't like none of that. I don't like any kind of drugs. I'm on high blood pressure medicine and stuff like that, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. So the guys drink. I don't drink, and I don't smoke none of that. And I never tried to. I never tried to do any of that in order to gain acceptance in the club. I always just wanted to be exactly who I was, and that worked for me. So that's what I tell you to take to hanging around. If you're going to hang around, you have to be independently, um, um, fiercely committed to being you. We did a picture the other day of this guy who, after he put on his patch, he becomes like this tatted up, tough guy to, uh, to show that now that he's put on his colors, he's so bad and he's so tough. And a lot of folks will say something like, "I don't make the colors make me," or "The colors don't make me, I make the colors," and all that kind of stuff. If you are who you are, if you are what you are from the beginning to the end, you don't ever have to worry about uh, um, compromising yourself or your values. And that's the kind of people folks want in their club. And if the kind of person you are is not wanted in the club, then that's not the club for you. Somebody sent me another question too. Now I'm going to answer that right now, and that was, is it disrespectful to drop out of a club as a prospect? And I intend to make a whole video on that, but the answer is no. And as a hang around or a prospect, if that's the time you feel like you should leave the club, that's exactly the time that you need to leave the club. That's when we expect you to figure it out whether we're for you and you're for us, is during that period. I hate for people to put on patches and leave. Because once we put a patch on you, we want you forever and ever and ever. But, and so, but when you're just a prospect or a hang around, we expect that we might not get to keep you forever. So, uh, that was your video today? Really? Uh, wow. I didn't mean to take your video. Wow. I didn't see your video. I'm sorry. So we can go watch that video on Wild on Twos. Uh, is it okay to leave a club as a prospect? Because in my opinion, absolutely. I'm not going to spoil it though. We'll watch it over on his channel, and then we'll know. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say about that. When is the right time to ask to be a hang around? I would say if you're going to ask, wait a few months. Wait at least 2 or 3 months uh, after you've hung around a while. Really get to know the club in as much as you can know it as a hang around. Kind of get the feeling of those guys, find out how they get down, look and see how they treat one another, how they respect one another. Even if they're not so kind to you or not so responsive to you, you really want to see what it's going to be like when you get that patch on. One of the telltale signs too is when one brother starts talking uh, shit about another brother, and and then 4 or 5 or 6 brothers jump in. You can kind of get a good feeling of the inside of their club when you see something like that, and that's what I'm looking for. So I just, like I said, I fell in love with my club from day one. There was a Hollywood romance, but or a bromance. I mean, I just loved those guys from the minute when I saw my patch. I that was the patch I wanted on my back, and I never wanted another one. That patch was completely me. I understood what it meant after they explained the symbology, and they explained to me what their patch meant and how it came about. I was like, whoa, man, that's so deep. The independence of the brotherhood, the strength of those brothers, the tight knit. They were tight knit crew. Everybody respected the president when he spoke. It was like a God speaking. And we didn't have all this that you have today. So a guy standing up cussing the president out in a meeting. Man, I wish the hell you would. I wish you would talk back to the president in a meeting. What the OGs, the sergeant at arms, you get jerked right up in a heartbeat. You get your head knocked off. Like, hey man, you better temper your tone, bro. Prospects didn't get to speak. We didn't speak in meetings. I wish you would open your mouth up and speak in a meeting. Uh, you might get your sponsor beat up. Hey man, what's wrong with your prospect? Did he just say something? Now prospects get up and talk in a meeting like, hold up, yo, whoa, man. You're talking too fast. You're talking that slick talk right now. Look here, Prez. I wanna. Well, I be like, wow, that's why y'all can't keep these suckers under control. Like, to me, it's funny. But times change, and now maybe you're getting a little bit older prospect these days, or a little bit smarter kids, or something like that. You know, I come from a as a kid. Kids were you're spoken to. Kids are spoken to. They speak. They don't. Kids are kids are not to speak. That's where I come from in Oklahoma, As a kid, you don't even get to open up your mouth. So I understood that prospects. Uh, and somebody said prospects were not allowed in meetings, and you're right. Prospects were not allowed in meetings, but every now and then, a prospect would come to a meeting for whatever particular reason, or a part of a meeting, and then they'd have to go back outside. But if you got to see a part of that meeting, first of all, you were so happy to get to see it, and and then you were there for a short time, but your ass sure wasn't speaking. But in today's day, there are prospects that just sit right in the meeting, along with everybody else. They raise their hand to vote. They got something to say. I laid out a lot of pipe for this cut. Somebody's talking chugga-lugga, chugga-lugga. I know what you're talking. Somebody's talking about one of my videos. Oh my goodness, you guys, I love y'all. So anyway, I've droned on a few minutes about that subject. I just wanted to get it out there to you and let you know my 2 cents on it. And love to hear your 2 cents down in the comment section below. Like, when do you think a good time? So that's my answer if you're gonna ask. But for me, I probably, if I had it to do today, uh, I would say you don't ask. Just like you never ask when your prospectship will be over. It's over when they say it's over. I don't ask when I can hang around. I don't ask, can I prospect? When you say, hey, we like you, we think you're a good fit. Uh, what would you think about hanging around this club? I'd love to. Where do I sign? You know, after a while, somebody says, you've been hanging around for a minute. We think you might make a good prospect. Oh, that's outstanding. Thank you for asking. I was thinking the same thing. Uh, how do I do that? When do I begin? Well, you got to come to a meeting and formally ask, whatever. But somebody's going to ask me, and they're going to ask me because I've been around, and you can see me, and you can see my get down, and you can see that I'm willing to ride, I'm willing to show up. I've got the right attitude, I've got the right spirit, I've got the right temperament. And when that the kind of person you are, people will ask you. And you find a lot of retired military prospecting. Absolutely. A lot of retired military, a lot of active military. They like the brotherhood. They like the feeling of it. It's just like being in the military for some guys. So absolutely, I see a lot of them out there, and and we love to have them as brothers. So, what is your thought about it? That's my 2 cents. Love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Listen, Black Dragon Biker TV. You can find us all over the place on Facebook, Instagram, TV, and on YouTube. Here on YouTube, and we are trying to get our IG up to. We want to get our IG up to like 10,000. That's like the magic number we're trying to reach. So you guys keep on. I get 20, 30 guys over there a day. Really appreciate that. Please continue to help us get our IG up. We're like at like 2,800 now, almost 3,000. That is so cool. Thank you. Please check out the IG. We want you on our Discord server. If you don't know anything about Discord, it's like having a whole universe. That's Black Dragon Biker TV. So we'd love to have you on our Discord channel. That would be really cool. Also, and you'll be able to find the link to the Discord down in the description below when I do the description later today. And uh, Black Dragon Biker TV. Also, the Dragon's Lair Motorcycle Chaos is our podcast, and our online news magazine is bikerliberty.com. So go over on Wild on 2, check him out today. Everybody's publishing today. This is Wednesday, so a lot of people publish today. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Love to hear your 2 cents in the comment section below. I'm Black Dragon. Thanks for spending 29 minutes and 29 seconds with me. Absolutely love you guys. Getting ready to start a brand new RV channel called Black Dragon's Great RV Adventures. So hopefully you guys will like that too. And we're going to get Think Tactical back up and running. So we're having a lot of fun with this. Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and get skinny.